153. 150.
You can start, Ahmed. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today we do the 11th and the last episode of season 6. My name is Ashfaq Ahmed and I am the anchor of PMI Chapter Exchange program. I'm also the vice president of PMI Mumbai chapter. Since this is the last event, I want to take a moment and thank all the volunteers who have helped us excel this Chapter Exchange program for last 11 events in 2025. So can I request Tao to please say hi to the crowd? Tao from Taiwan chapter.
Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome.
Thank you, Tao. Thank you for being around. Thanks for helping us all along 2025 in doing those events, and also helping us grow in the uh, East regions. Uh, can I ask Priscilla to say hi to the crowd, please?
Sure. Good
Thank you,
morning
Priscilla.
from São Paulo, Brazil. It's great to be here for this last event of the year. Enjoy.
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for being a supporting member of the Chapter Exchange program and supporting us for last so many years on the program and helping us grow month on month. Can I ask Amod to come on the screen, please, and say hi to the crowd? Amod Kusalkar from the PMI Mumbai chapter. Amod, are you there, or you are still in the backstage
I
making
think
adjustments for the infrastructure?
he's at the backstage. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Aman, you want to take a moment and
I'm
say
here.
hi to
Hello,
our crowd?
everyone.
Yeah, Amod, over to you. Just say hi to everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for making me part of this event. Wonderful event. Thank you, and looking forward to see you next year too.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you for all the support that you have provided in the background with the infra, with all the uh, not so good, not so good instances that happened in the last so many months. Thanks for all your support that you have provided. Aman, you want to just come on the screen
Hi
and
all, welcome to the session, the last session, and have a great new year. And I hope this year will have been great for you. So this is a great event, and looking forward to you all in the next year
thank you.
events. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Aman. Thank you so much for all your support.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help and supporting Amod Kusalkar on all the activities.
You're most
Looking
welcome.
forward to more. So we look forward to more such events happening. And these are our key members who help us all along the way to make things possible. Thank you, guys. Without your support, it would not have been possible for us to sustain Chapter Exchange program and complete season 6. So this is the last event of season 6, and next event will be in season 7. So going to the next slide. So this is a URL with PMI Mumbai chapter URL where all the past events and sessions are kept. So we have completed more than 55 sessions in the last 6 years, and we see that more than 80% of our registration come from outside India. The the platform is to bring members, volunteers, speakers, and audience from 5 different continents, countries, and make them a part of this program. I've given the Chapter Exchange program's email ID. In case you need any help or you want to suggest something, please feel free to let us know. A quick update on the PM Conclave. The PMI Mumbai chapter is doing a PM Conclave on Saturday, 21st of February in Mumbai. And it's a future-ready project manager navigating AI, agility, and sustainability. In case you have not registered for this event, especially from PMI Mumbai chapter members, kindly do so. This is going to be a great event with a good number of speakers lined along. On my next screen, I'm showing you the events that we have been planned for the Chapter Exchange program in 2026. We have a strategy team which have identified and also did a lot of sessions with the other chapters and identified those topics for us to do. The dates are also mentioned in the first column. One thing to note is most of our event, almost every event that we do is on the third Friday, but the first month we have taken some exception to do it on the uh, fourth Friday of the month. So please make that adjustment. This is because normally we only do 10 events in a year, but this time we plan to do 12, and we need a little additional time to plan things in place, put things in place, and complete this. So this is available, and we will. I'll show you these details, event on event, on what we have completed and what is pending. This is the exchange effect. Priscilla, you want to take it forward?
Yes, sure. Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
Ahmed. So again, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. We are thrilled to welcome friends from across the globe, representing 38 PMI chapters from North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. We are excited to announce that today's session has reached more than 800 registrations from 53 countries across various continents. Thank you for being part of this global gathering. Next one, please.
Just a minute.
Okay, as
Go
we
ahead. You
begin,
go ahead. Yeah.
yes, I can go ahead. Thank you. As we begin, we encourage you to keep networking using the chat window. You can update your profile in our Meet with your LinkedIn and other details. Take a time to connect with fellow attendees. A quick reminder, this session is being recorded. If you feel uncomfortable in any way, you may choose not to attend. Otherwise, you are welcome to continue. Please also note that speakers here are sharing insights in their individual capacities, and their views do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations. Next one, please. As in past events, we invite you to participate in our attendee spotlight session. To join, simply share an inspiring quote or comment related to today's topic in the chat window. Our team will select one to spotlight at the end of this session. We look forward to seeing your contributions. Over to you, Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you so much. So this event today is with more than 800 registrations. We are expecting more people to join and take advantage of this global platform. On the screen, I show you the our partner chapters. We have 39 chapters whom we participate with, and we still go in with the one theme, one song, and one dance. But over to the keynote speaker. I'll just a minute.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good
Go ahead,
morning.
please.
Good afternoon. Good
Just
evening.
an Emmanuel.
everyone.
Just before you start, let me just introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yes. So today we have Emmanuel Amanpour from Ghana chapter. He is a proactive, result-oriented, and performance-driven professional with 15 plus years of experience in managing the development and concurrent delivery of strategic information technology solutions into varied market sectors, including banking, education, transportation, and telecom. Cross-functional communicator, influential, competent, and persuasive, with highly developed client vendor management skills, achieving stakeholders buy-in through mutual trust, agreeing deliverables, and SLAs, monitoring KPIs, and a keen interest on meeting business priorities and contributing towards revenue-generating activities. Well versed in agile practice, coaching, and training agile teams to deliver value to client in turbulent business environment, coupled with strong work ethic and excellent organization skill. Who else could be a better person to explain us the topic for today, that is slowly phasing out the project manager's role. So over to Emmanuel. My screen is not shared. Let me just share it again. So
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I hope I'm audible.
you are, just a minute. Let me just share this screen again. Go ahead, please.
Great. Am I audible, please?
You are.
Okay. So it's a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening to our cherished attendees. We're happy to have them here. And the topic is very interesting. I know a lot of people would want to know the answer to the question, and that is why we are here, so that we can discuss this topic well. So we live in a VUCA world in which things are dynamic. We have volatility, uncertainty in the world in which we are living. And therefore, things will not always be the same or the way we expect it to be. We would experience these uncertainties and we will have to adapt as we go along. So the question comes again, is the role of the PM facing away? Is it changing or is it relevant still? Well, we have two schools of thoughts, which we are going to see in the next slide. So for some people, the thing is that it's disappearing. The role is actually disappearing. That is how they position themselves on this question. For others, the role is not disappearing, but transforming. It is changing from a previous state of affairs to a new one. So that is what we want to decipher. Is it disappearing or is it transforming? That question looms, and we would want to have the answer to that. So that brings us to the next slide. Now let's look at reality on the ground. When we look around the workplace, the industries, the players, we see that things are changing. Like I mentioned, we live in a VUCA world. So volatility is there, uncertainty is there. Currently, if you look at what is driving various markets, the shift is towards agility or combining some aspects of agility and traditional ways of managing projects. And this is what many organizations are moving towards. So in reality, yes, many organizations are shifting from the status quo to a better way of doing things. And there are so many examples that we can cite. One of them is with the Bosch agile transformation. And if you look at what the CEO at the time in 2017 said about their agile movement, it is very interesting. They have decided to adapt agility as their way of working. And that is not only for Bosch, but we have other organizations as well. Now let's move on to the next slide, which gives us more evidence from the industry. So we have Bosch, even PMI's own pulse of the professional report in 2024, you can see that hybrid is what they have come to see many organizations adapting to be able to handle projects. And as we know, projects are used as vehicles to be able to achieve strategic plans for organizations. So at the tactical level, project management is there, and currently there's a need to shift towards hybrid approaches that make it easier for the dynamism to be able to exist, to help teams to be able to achieve their objectives. So in a brief sentence, we can say that project managers must actively adapt their skills, their skill sets and mindset, or what happens? Risk becoming obsolete. So that school of thought that it is actually disappearing may or may not have some substance in there. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So now let's look at the current trend, the rise of the project influencer. So current research shows that indeed what is required is for project managers to develop leadership skills. They need to expand their skill sets. They need to shift their focus. They need to adapt to the ongoing changes that we find in our system today. We have AI as part of what we do every now and then. So they need to have leadership in AI-enabled environments. Next slide. So the traditional project manager, maybe command and control, is more about task management. So assigning tasks, making sure people deliver their task on time and on budget. But that is actually shifting a bit. More focus is on communication, empowering teams, and making sure that we let go of the command and control aspect of the traditional way of managing teams. And as a leader, you have to provide the vision and make sure people are buying into the vision. Now, the skills that we need as project managers as we go on in this dynamic world is to have an agile mindset. We need to develop emotional intelligence. We live with people who are in the Gen Z, and for such people, not all of them, some of them, they are quick to be able to leave your organization if you are not able to allow them to do their job, empower them, and give them some kind of freedom to be able to operate. We also need to develop strategic thinking. We need to think more about where we are going, vision, and not just only about what we need to do immediately. Then digital fluency. We mentioned AI. We need to be able to adapt, learn how to use the tools so that we can be more effective. PMI has given us some of such tools, Infinity, that we can actually use to better what we do. So let's move on. So with this shift comes the challenges. Change is not easy. It comes with some challenges, but we can overcome the challenges. So there's resistance to change. People are not ready to let go their command and control style of managing. We need to find ways and means to balance approaches. We don't have to only use agile. We don't have to only use traditional approaches. Could there be possibilities of blending aspects of agile, aspects of traditional, aspects of managing projects to better deliver results? Leadership support. We need support from people at the top because this shift requires that support. And if it's not there, it makes the shift very difficult. So we do believe that our leaders would be able to give us that support. Then psychological safety. We all are fallible humans. We make mistakes. So we should have room for people to make mistakes. And we know innovation comes as a result of experimentation. And whilst we are doing experiments, definitely there will be times of failure. And we have several examples in history about how psychological safety enabled people to become innovative and to develop the things that we are using today. Next slide, please. So what does this mean for us? We need to evolve. Just as the world is evolving, is dynamic, we as project managers need to evolve. We need to accept the reality. We need to adapt new skills. We need to embrace transformation. We don't want to be left out. Therefore, there's a need for us to be able to adapt. We need to explore new roles. For example, you can think about being a product owner, a scrum master in the agile area. Yes, we want to look at that. We also want to develop power skills. And we know the talent triangle, power skills. We need to develop such power skills to be able to interact very well with people, collaborate, influence, and be able to think strategically. We have organizational benefits as well. If we are able to do all of this, we are able to help people, help teams to be able to deliver results effectively. They are able to churn out the necessary outcomes that help organizations to be able to beat their competition in the market and to provide value for their stakeholders. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, we can say that the PM role is not dying, but it is transforming. Are you ready for the transformation? I believe you do. You are ready to be able to transform and become dynamic and relevant in your role as a project manager. Last slide. That brings us to the end of the opening note. Thank you all very much for this session. Back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I think you set up a right context for us to take this forward. So moving on, I will share my screen again. So we are moving on to the next segment of our session today is the panel discussion. Am I visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we'll quickly do a round of introduction for our panelist. So I'm moderating this today. So moving on to Sitlali. Sitlali is from Mexico chapter. Sitlali, you would quickly want to introduce yourself.
Sure, Ahmed. Hi,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you. My name is Itlali Carrillo. I am located in Guadalajara, Mexico. If you are not familiar with Mexico, is where the tequila is built. So yes, I am from the tequila land. And my background is I am an industrial engineer. I have a bachelor degree in industrial engineer. I have a master degree in IT. And in the last 15, 20 years, I've been diving or swimming into the PM world. Currently, I am the president of the Guadalajara chapter, Jalisco, Mexico, PMI. And around that, I'm working. I am a program manager in IBM as a global consultant. I am in charge of the PMO in a globally matters, and I have different kind of certification. I have a PGMP, PMP, SAP, and CP. Also, I'm complementing my knowledge with Lego Serious Play methodology, lean manufacturing, design thinking. And currently, I'm working so close in IBM in order to develop AI workshops for all the teams. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Sitlali. So the question today is slowly phasing out of the project manager's role. So you are in favor of it or against it? Is the project manager's role yes or no? We will have a lot of discussion on that. Are you in favor
Yes.
of it?
Yes,
Let me
I
just
am.
say it.
Yes. Yeah.
You are in favor of the question that it is going to phase out or the
Oh
not
no.
going to phase out? No.
No, I am. I am in. Yeah. No.
Against. You are
Yeah.
against the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to our next panelist today, Krishnan Srinivasan. Krishnan, can you quickly introduce yourself, please?
I'm from Malaysia. It's 10:30 at night. So good evening to those people who are in the eastern part of the world. Good afternoon to people in Europe, and good morning to people in the American subcontinents. I'm a past president of PMI Malaysia chapter. I'm currently finishing a role as a PMI board, PMI GAC board member this year. And I have been volunteering for the last 12 years with PMI, either at the chapter or the global level. I should be referring to myself as retired, but I'm one of those people who cannot retire. I need to keep active. I'm actually 65. I turned 65 in October. And I continue to promote project management, not just as a work skill, but as a life skill. I started out in accountancy. I have a first degree in accounting, a second degree MBA from the University of Edinburgh. I went on to do Charter Institute of Management Accountants in UK. And at the young age of 51, I acquired my PMP. Currently working on 2 other certifications. That's a little bit about my background. That's all for me today.
Krishnan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, what is your answer to the question? Slowly phasing out of project manager's role?
No, I argue against it.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll have some discussion over it. Let me just move on to the next panelist in our list. Raymond from Indonesia chapter. Raymond, you want to quickly introduce yourself, please?
Okay, Ahmed, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone from Indonesia. I'm located in Jakarta, 9 p.m. here right now. Okay, I'm truly glad and honored to be here. As mentioned here, my status now is I'm a strategic pivoting right now, become a consulting role after so many years experience in telecommunication field in Ericsson. I've experienced from early days of mobile phone 2G until 5G. I'm certified PFMP, PJMP, and PMP, and also now I'm continuing learning journey for as a PhD candidate. Tonight, I'm not here for someone who has all answer, like Priscilla said. I'm here someone who has, based on experience, and truly excited with this biggest transformation is not behind us, but it's happening right now with all of us in this room. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you so much. So the same question stands for you. You think that the role of the project manager is phasing out? Because I see
No.
you have a lot of certifications, so I don't think you will say yes.
Yeah.
So your answer is also no. Moving on to Richard.
Yeah.
Richard is from the Luxembourg chapter. Richard, you want to quickly introduce yourself, please? Richard.
Hi, you hear me now? Good afternoon from Luxembourg, and again, congratulations for the great success of the Chapter Xchange. I think this is my 3rd one. So I am a senior project manager, business analyst, PMO, working across the financial sector, and also more recently I've moved into the space sector. And the other area that I work in is in AI-driven enterprise project management. I'm the president of PMI Luxembourg chapter, and have around 10 years volunteer experience. So my kind of experience is around sort of digital transformation, strategic projects for public sector, finance, and also, as I said, I've been doing quite a lot of work with AI in the project management area. And one of the things that I'm also quite heavily involved with is kind of mentoring young professionals and bringing them into the or building their skills in the project management area. I have a BSc Honours. I'm a chartered consulting engineer and CPA, and I have an MBA from MIT Sloan School of Management. In terms of the question, those project managers that don't transform will not be successful, but those who transform and adopt all these great tools that we have around us will be very successful. So that's my position. So
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. You gave a very diplomatic answer. Let's hear it from the panelists and see what exactly comes out from our discussion today. Thank you so much for answering that question. Moving on to our last panelist for today, Viat Sorinen. Viat is from Alaska chapter. Viat, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Sure, I can do that. So right now I am the PMO director for Alaska Department of Transportation. I'm also the vice president of outreach for the Alaska chapter. This is my 2nd career. My first one was in the military. I was managing a lot of projects, all types of different projects. I have a master's in project management from American Military University, and I have a PMP and an agile leadership certification from Colorado University.
Okay,
And the answer
thank
to
you.
your question is no.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you did. You did. We will drill more into what we are discussing. So I'll stop sharing and let's get into the question answer session. Quickly moving on to the questions. Okay. Sitlali, I have a first question for you. Which parts of the project manager's role are becoming less necessary and which are becoming more critical? Before we get into the, the scope of a project manager, let's try to understand which part of the PM's roles are becoming less necessary and which are more critical.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. So, I mean, from my point of view, and as I'm going to echo what Richard just mentioned, I think that some traditional PM activities are clearly becoming less necessary. Like, for example, manual status reporting, updates, or, acting as a meeting coordinator. Those are traditional activities that we used to have in our package. So I think that those tasks really don't create real value anymore. I mean, now that we are transforming the PM career. So what I think that is becoming more critical is the PM ability to create clarity in the complexity of the projects. What that means? That means that we need to focus in on align the strategy with the execution. That is something that we have a lot of gaps. Another ability or another task is start connecting the stakeholders, because most of the time we have no clarity about the stakeholders or how to connect with them. And also I think that we need to start helping the teams in order to make better decisions. So, I mean, in order to make it faster sometimes. Why? Because I think that the PMs are moving from managing tasks to enabling decisions. So I think that we need
Okay.
to focus in order to becoming the real value. Yep.
Right. And are we taking good help of technology in this case?
Yes, I think that is going to be an excellent tool, and we need to start learning. I mean, even if we don't know anything about it, we need to start using it in our daily activities. Yes.
Good. We'll come back to that. My next question is for Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you switch on your camera if it is not on? The question is, are PM responsibilities naturally shifting to engineering, design, or leadership, and why? Do you think so?
So it depends on the context that we have. So if we're looking at engineering, to some extent, yes, because we have a lot of product development aspect there, which is more technical and platform driven. So if you are a PM in that context, your role then gears towards engineering for that match. But if it is more with customer-centric organizations and solution that you are developing, then your context would now switch more into design. But if it is where you're supposed to provide leadership, if it's leadership, then that is the area that your focus will be more on. So it depends on the context. From my point of view, it is not a straightforward answer, but then it's contextual.
Okay. Krishnan, you want to add something to this? What is your perspective about this question?
Would you mind
I will. I will. Are
Repeat.
PM responsibilities naturally shifting to engineering, design, or leadership, and why?
I'm actually a proponent of project managers being facilitators. And by default, I would argue that project managers need to focus more on leadership by virtue of this facilitation activity that they actually need to do. They don't need to be experts in engineering or design or stuff like that. They can actually pull in people who are subject matter experts in those particular realms.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
I
Raymond, yeah, Raymond, can I ask you this? What project management task could be automated or delegated? And if it is possible, then how do we do that?
Well, thank you, Ahmed. I think most of us can predict to the answer, but I think it will be the biggest mistake if project manager think spending their best time on work that no longer needs human, right? In today's world, I think project success is no longer about managing tasks; it's about value, right? Outcome. So there is a maybe uncomfortable questions. What work should we stop doing because machine can now do it better? So I think Emmanuel explained it. Maybe it can be for the repetitive, rule-based, data-heavy, status-oriented tasks. It can be automated. And then related to that, status report dashboard is can be managed by the machine, right? So let AI or automation maintain that plan. But here, PMs must own the interpretations and direction, right? At least today, in my understanding, is everything goes or slowly moving to adapt to AI. Though some work must be delegated and automated, right? Technical decision belong to expert. For example, in telecom, there's a lot of expert there, and daily coordinations for the site work belong to self-managed team. So I think the operational, it can be chasing belong to workflow, right? And then here the things that PM must never give up, which is value prioritization, prioritization, and stakeholder trust. Yeah, we need to gain the trust within all stakeholder, and then decision orchestration, and then of course conflict resolution, because machine cannot understand the situation in the room, sense making in the uncertainty, and as Manuel point out, also
Okay.
leadership, the skill that for the PM.
Thanks, Raymond. We are from
Yeah.
Alaska chapter. Can I ask you the same question? What PM task could be automated or delegated?
What PM task could be automated or deleted?
Yes, delegated.
Oh, delegated. So there's a lot of different ways you could work that one. I mean, you could delegate it to an assistant project manager to have them do it so that you can focus on the bigger tasks, or you can have AI help you figure out the best plan in order to make the progress keep going. So it depends on the type of project. Most of the projects I deal with are construction projects, and they have the design phase and the construction phase. So the design stuff, a lot of that is delegated to design engineers, and then the project manager will just make sure they're staying on task and getting the work done on time. And then when it goes to a construction phase, it's a whole different project manager with crew leads and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things that can be delegated. And I think that's the project manager's role to keep track of what they delegate and make sure who they delegate it to is still staying on task.
Okay. Okay.
I, I,
I'll. I'll.
if I could just, I think we need to make the distinction between what we delegate and what we automate, and what where we can basically automate and not so much automate, but semi-automate what is basically sort of manual tasks. So the things that traditionally have taken up project management's time, minute taking, action tracking, collecting data, even like with specifications. So I think there's an element of there's not so much that you can maybe delegate unless you're trying to use it as to train people up, but I think there's a lot of things that we can automate in our day-to-day activity.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for adding that. So, Richard, I have a question here. How aligned is leadership on the purpose of project management in our organization or in your organization in your region, in companies in Luxembourg? How aligned is leadership on the purpose of project management in organizations?
That depends very much on the perceived maturity of project management in the particular industry. So I have some organizations, particularly large capital intensive organizations like construction or aerospace or those areas, they see project management as being a very critical role. Other industries I find, like for example, my experience in financial services, where it's project management is kind of relatively mature and it becomes less strategic and it becomes more kind of very process oriented. So I think it's very much within the context of the particular industry, in my experience. So.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. Emmanuel, you want to add something to the same thing? How aligned is leadership on the purpose of project management in organizations?
Well, so in my part of the world, leadership usually is aware of the need for project management. However, the support and where they even place project management is where the problem is. Sometimes you have an organization where project management is handled by the technology people and is placed under a department, not necessarily giving it the status as a relevant department that should stand on its own like a PMO. So they acknowledge that it is relevant, but the support they give to it is not that commensurate to the work that it's supposed to do to deliver value to the organizations. So that is what I have observed in my part of the world and the organizations that I have been able to interact with.
Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel, for your input from your part of the world. We have, since this is a topic which is very relevant to our audience, in fact, everybody who is even if it is a CAPM or PMP, and I see that we have PGMP and PFMP also attending our sessions today. So we'll pick up a few questions from our audience. And we have the first question that is from Ananda Pradhan. And the question is, as a PM, what are the top 3 barriers to psychological safety? Who wants to take this up? Top 3 barriers for psychological safety. Citlali, you want to take this up?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, I can comment about it. I think that the 3 barriers might be fear of blame. I mean, when mistakes are punished and people stop speaking up. I think that's the first barrier. The second one should be lack of clarity. I mean, that you don't have clear expectation or changing priorities. I mean, that kind of uncertainty is making the people hesitate to ask questions. So, and maybe the last one will be the intimidation by leaders, that not everyone feels safe in order to share ideas if someone disagree. From my perspective, those are the 3 key barriers. I don't know if my friends can add anything else.
Yeah. Let's check with our friends. Is there anybody who thinks there is other barriers apart from what Siddharthi has mentioned? Virat, you want to take that up? Anything else that you think of? Virat from Alaska.
Not that I can think of right off the top of my head.
Okay. If you think about, yeah, Emmanuel, you want to answer that? Go ahead, please.
Yes, and I think one challenge also has to do with not letting go the command and control. People feel they should be in control as a result of background and the traditional way of doing things. They want to be in control. So that's a challenge. And if we want to still be in control and are not ready to shift to being more like leaders and facilitating, that can also be a barrier to us as individuals.
Okay.
May I just chime in as well?
Yes, please.
I mean, certainly, Chitlali mentioned what I'm about to refer to as a fear of retribution. So those are in that command and control type settings, where what the boss says goes type conversation. The second one, which probably is an even more important element in my opinion, is the lack of transparency. And I think Chitlali actually touched on this briefly. But if we know where we stand, and people are willing to listen, so listening is part of the whole mix. I think in Emmanuel's presentation, he mentioned empathy. That's also required. Because if people are willing to stop and listen, and often that's the big weakness, we want to talk rather than listen, and often we miss the messaging that's out there. So this idea of being open, transparent, and having a listening mindset certainly impacts how people come to the party and react. If you're not prepared to listen, no one's going to speak up. They're just going to keep their own thoughts to themselves.
Thank you, Krishnan. Thank you so much. I would like to take a next question from the audience. Does our panel think, this question is from Bhushan Gawan. He's asking why PM roles are more inclined toward tech delivery managers. Anybody who wants to take this up? Why PM roles are more inclined towards tech delivery managers? Do we expect our project managers to also be technical?
I think
because the management part is already reducing, and it's a challenge that we are taking or making use of AI to automate things. So go ahead, Prince Richard.
Yeah, I think that's a maybe that's a little bit a sort of function of the sort of the distribution of projects and where projects are. That there's a big proportion of projects which are technical, be that construction technical, be that aerospace, be that sort of IT development, and to effectively manage a technical team, I think you need to have some kind of you need to have a requisite level of technical background in order to be able to kind of really help the teams towards their goal. And I think that one of the things that sort of project managers generally need to also be kind of think about in their role is this whole concept of sort of fit for purpose project management.
Correct.
Where depending on the project that you have and the context, you pick and choose your tool set, and by picking and choosing your tool set, it allows you to better guide the team to a successful outcome. So I don't think it's that you need a technical, that it necessarily needs to be technical, but you need to blend together the project management toolkit with whatever is needed in the technical domain. So.
Okay.
Can I
has a
add
different
something?
opinion? Yeah. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
So I will just talk from my perspective. I feel more confident handling IT projects because that is my area of expertise. If you go and put me in construction, I will not have that confidence to be able to lead people who are talking about technical jargons, and I'll be confused. So I prefer working in a domain, even though, yes, as a project manager, I have the skills to be able to put people together, to work together, to deliver outcomes and results. I feel more confident in my area where I think I have a background and expertise in. Maybe others have something similar as well.
And yes, that's correct. You have a background in technology, so leading technology project makes it easy for you. Similarly, somebody who is leading construction project or oil and gas or aviation project, it will help them to understand the landscape or the domain better and manage them better. So basically, our panel is saying that along with the project manager's management skill, it helps to have the technical understanding about the area that they are working on. Okay, I have a question from Rahul Raghuvanshi, and he is asking, in a remote or hybrid tech environment, how do we balance the need for agile flexibility with the high level accountability that stakeholders expect? How do we balance agile flexibility and the high level accountability? Agile flexibility and high level accountability. Anybody wants to take that? Yes, Viat, you want to take that question? How do you balance?
Let me try and answer that,
Yeah,
that
yeah, please.
question, because I get the distinct impression by the nature of that question that there's an understanding issue of what is agile. There's two parts to agile. There's the agile practices or ceremonies on the one hand, and if you are actually practicing agile, then the accountability is actually to your product owner. That's where your thing is, and that accountability is ongoing depending on how long or how complex your agile project is, as opposed to the agile mindset that Emmanuel spoke about earlier. In a problem-solving context, you cannot be fixated about this is the only way we do it, which probably lends itself more easily to the traditional way of doing projects. But in a crisis, you need to have an agile mindset. I call it seat of the pants management approach. You need to look for alternative ways of solving whatever problems there are out there. And I think at the heart of project management, problem solving is a key skill. And if we don't have higher order thinking skills and critical thinking skills with us, and a lot of, at least from a Malaysian perspective, our education system has a lot to answer for because there's a lack of those sorts of skills, then this ability to be agile and to solve problems becomes questionable.
Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Thank you so much. We have plenty of questions from the audience today. So the next one, we'll quickly touch upon some of them. Questions for Richard. Richard, there is a question for you. Based on your experience managing AI projects and from a PMI perspective, how should project manager document and manage risk related to AI model behavior and data dependency? You want me to repeat the question?
No, no.
Okay.
I've heard the. I mean that. So, so basically, my background, more recently with AI related projects, is that I have been using it to try and use predictive AI to help to to help to basically predict the outcomes of projects. But your question, specifically related to the so you're asking about the way that you manage risk within an AI
Correct.
project. So in terms of things like bias, in terms of things like incorrect results, and you from my perspective, you don't use, just because it's an AI project, you don't use any other different risk management techniques that you would use on the on other projects. But the benefit that you have with tools at the moment, particularly with AI, is that you can do a lot more of kind of like sort of scenario planning, help for risk mitigation strategies. So so I think what you have to do is you have to look critically with respect of the kind of like the AI project, and the risks that can be associated with, for example, that if you're using data within AI, which maybe you don't have the ownership of it, or alternatively, if you get hallucinations in the results, that you have to, or for example, in Europe at the moment, we have quite strong regulatory constraints. So I think you have to look at your overall risk management strategy and look at what you're trying to do with AI, and take that into account with the risk management strategy. So.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Arshinullah Khan, for asking this question. The next question I have is from Stanley Christie. If AI automates entry-level tasks, now this is a very generic question. If AI automates entry-level tasks, how will new professionals gain the foundational experience necessary to become senior project managers? And what will the entry-level role look like? Right? So probably a Gen Z becoming a senior project manager is what we are asking, or I'll repeat this question. Emmanuel, I see you smiling. I want you to take this question. If AI automates entry-level tasks, how will new professional gain the foundational experience necessary to become senior project manager?
Okay.
So somebody who's
Let
becoming
me
a senior
try.
project manager after 10 years. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So it depends on what task the questioner deems as entry level. I am tempted to assume possibly documentation, writing plans, task management, and all that. If that is what the person deems as the entry level, well, we are not saying that everything is going to be taken away. Of course, at the entry level, there are things that you need to do. Even we talked about emotional intelligence, right from starting as a project manager, you are working with people, you need to have very high emotional intelligence. If you don't have it, you have to develop it over time. It is an entry level requirement, which is necessary for us to be able to lead people to generate the necessary outcomes. So I would say it depends on exactly what is deemed as entry level role of the project manager. That may help. If you could give examples, specific examples of the entry level, that may help us.
Okay, so I don't have an example, but I have two questions that have been asked by two different people. I'll try to relate these, and I would want Sitlali to help me find an answer. The first part of the question by Tarun Parihar is: are the PMs supposed to provide solutions to? That is first part of the question. The second part of the question is by Saumil Bansal, and he is asking, do you think the role of business analyst and project managers are being merged? The first part was, are project managers supposed to provide solutions? And the second part is the business analyst and project manager role being merged? We heard a few minutes ago where Emmanuel mentioned that knowing a little more on the technical side helps us understand, as he demonstrated, that being an IT, it's easy for him to manage IT accounts, IT projects, but he cannot do with confidence the construction project. So, Sitlali, what is
Yeah.
your take on this? Yeah, go ahead, please.
I don't believe that the project managers always need to provide the solution. I mean, the final solution. But I think that we as a project managers, we are responsible for enabling the right solution. I mean, encourage to get it. So I think that we need that means that we need to frame in the problem, bringing the right people together, evaluating the options, and to be sure that the decisions are made to the right level. Because sometimes, yes, I do propose solutions, and maybe especially around delivery, but the real value, I think, that is the clarity, the alignment, and that you are taking the decision based in information. So that's my thinking. And what was the other one? That if the BA role, that the business analyst role can be merged with the PM.
Do
Did
you
I get it
do,
right?
do you think the roles of business analyst and project managers are being merged? So, are we expecting the project manager to also
Mhm.
perform the role of a business analyst?
Well, in my experience, I think that
Mhm.
yes, there is a overlapping roles between the two roles, business analyst and PM. And I mean, I am a technology person in that world. So especially in that environment and product environments, yes, there is an overlapping. However, I don't see that is a full merge. I think that the business analyst is the person that is focusing on a problem definition, and a requirement. And in the other hand, the project manager is focusing on the outcomes, delivery, and stakeholder alignment. So I think that one person, most of the time, we are playing both of the roles. But if you
Hmm.
have the clarity of the one role and the other ones, I think that you can play it effectively. Why? Because sometimes the companies or the groups, that the teams that you are working on, they don't have the specific role, business analyst and project manager. They are expecting that the project manager is performing everything, right? So in the reality, I think if you have clarity what is one role and what is the other, you can do a good playing of both activities or play roles.
Thank you. I want to ask Raymond. Raymond, what do you think, or how is this been handled in your part of the world? Is the project manager,
Which part?
the project manager, business analyst, the solution architecture, are these all a project manager has to play multiple hats, or he's only doing pure play project management?
Okay. For me, I think today still separate, right?
Hmm.
But coming on where AI been there and shifted little bit, transformation, project manager need become a business acumen, and then circumstance of the business analysis can be helped by AI because it can be agent, can be trained, right? So yes, I optimist it can be merged in just say 2030, right? So
Hmm.
I think about this evolution, project manager should be ready for that, because today we have to have a business acumen if we are, for example,
Hmm.
portfolio manager, right? In order to
Ah.
have understanding about strategic, so we need to know the business related, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, I think 2030 might not be very far, but as we have already prefixed PM with a T, saying that he's a technical project manager. So, do you think that there will be a S project manager for solution project manager, or a B project manager for business project manager going forward? Uh, Krishnan, do you think? I know you said that you have already 40 years of experience. Do you think do you think that things are changing in the project management worlds now compared to when you were doing project management earlier, and they are changing fast?
Um, I'm I'm actually known for saying the following comment, to the extent that one of our past chairpersons actually said that he wanted to use this, and that quotation is, our mothers are actually perhaps the greatest project managers we shall know. And this is why I keep saying it's a life skill, not a work skill. Now, having said that, in order for us to progress, grow, and thrive, we need to pick up additional skills. And as I was mentioning in the chat, a lot of us start out with technical discipline. So maybe I started out in IT. In my case, I actually started out in accounting. Now, those of you who have engaged with accountants, you will know they are dull and boring individuals. And I apologize if I've offended anyone out there. But in order to address those shortcomings because of our technical gravitation to comfort zone, as Emmanuel kind of elaborated upon, we need to step out of our comfort zone. So we need to pick up the power skills as they are known, the business acumen skills that they are as they are known. And one of the great things that I love about PMI in particular is the talent triangle. It actually forces us, whether we like it or not, to actually go embrace new knowledge and whatever else it is out there. So today we hear from PMI, and there's nothing wrong with what they're saying. They're talking about more, and they're talking about value, as opposed to just blindly following any old project that's thrown our way. Value on the one hand, and they're also talking about things like sustainability. So you've got GPM basic, and then there's AI, which has actually already been mentioned here. Now, if we don't embrace these things that are sitting around out there, we are going to be left behind, as one of the speakers actually said very early on in this particular call. So to say it's going away, it's not going away, I don't think that's true. It's actually down to us as individuals, what our attitudes are towards actually continuous lifelong learning.
Okay, good. Thank you, Krishnan. So basically, we are saying the project manager, he's not only responsible for completing the task related to the project, but he is also responsible to ensure that the project meets its objective. Like it should not be like the operation is successful, but the patient is dead, right? So it is the main purpose of the doctor or the person who's doing the operation is to keep the patient alive.
Correct.
And healthy. So it is, if a project manager eliminates or distance himself or herself from the key objective or the purpose of the project that he or she is working on, and then say, oh, I manage the project and it is successful, without keeping an eye on the goal or the end result, then we might end up having projects which are operation is successful, but the end results are not met. So I think that's a good observation or insight that the panel has brought today. I have another question for Anuj Tiwari. How can we increase acceptance of PM from one industry background or experience want to shift to other industry? And how to address the above question considering complexity of new country to apply PM jobs? Now, this is a little tricky question, but it is a question for our panel. Since we have a diverse panel of people coming from 6 different countries, and I'm the 7th one. So how can we increase the acceptance of project manager? Like, for example, if there is a project manager from India, can he apply in any domain in Ghana or Indonesia or Malaysia or any other place? Is it possible? And how do we address the above question regarding complexity of new country? Like if we want to relocate or do complex projects across the globe, what is the skill that we should be expecting? Anybody wants to take that?
I can maybe
Go ahead.
I can maybe
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
go ahead.
maybe
Go
I
ahead.
can
Go
maybe
ahead.
maybe take this because in my career I've worked across although I'm based in Europe, I've worked across North
Thank you.
America. So I think it's it's about cultural adaptability. I think both from the point of view of geography, but also from the point of view of an industry, because I've moved a lot of different industries. I mean, I've been doing this for 35 years, so but it's really about cultural adaptability from the point of view of within the industry or within a corporation, but also cultural adaptability to the particular country that you go into. And in PMI conferences, you get some really fascinating like presentations on how across industry and across geography that people adapt. So I mean in Europe. And I've been working since the early 2000s, and I've seen a massive increase in project managers coming from India and moving in. So I think it's really about the cultural adaptability, and if you really want to sort of push yourself, and because it's not always easy, but it's always quite rewarding. So for me, that's a critical aspect. So.
Thank you, Richard. I think we are having a very good discussion, and the audience, we have around 350 people who are listening to us. So if you like, I am sure most of you are liking what the conversation, and if you like, do give us a thumbs up in the chat or in the panel, so that we know that you agree with it. And most of the question that I see is on the same thing: is the project manager also becoming part of the other roles within the software life cycle, or any other domain? Is he supposed to also code? Is he supposed to also provide solution? Is he supposed to also provide technical insight? Is he a pure play project manager? Now, we are at the tip of the hour, so I want to have one question for all our panelists, and it is a very relevant question as of today. And the question is, I'll do a round robin, and the question is, how effectively are you using AI for your project management, and what are the tools that you are using? If you can name a few tools, probably it will give insight to our audience to know how, or probably we can dig deeper to find out what are the other things related to this tool which we can also implement. So, uh, should I start with Chitlali? You want to go first?
Sure.
Please.
Well, in my experience,
Hmm.
I think that we can start using different tools. I mean, specifically from AI. For example, in order to writing and try to prepare sentences, I mean, of paragraphs, I
Hmm.
like ChatGPT or Copilot. I mean, for
Hmm.
user
Hmm.
stories, for summaries, for
Hmm.
retrospectives. I think that ChatGPT or Copilot are pretty good. Secondly, we can use, for example, tools that you can embed it into the meetings in order to take minutes and capture information automatically. I think that you can use, if you have Teams, they already have an agent installed. If you are using Zoom, the AI intelligence is over there. So I think that you can activate it and start using. And for example, delivery tools, I mean, more daily working, I think that you can use Jira or Power BI in order to identify trends or that kind of things. Is what I And of course PMI Infinity is a pretty good tool that I'm using daily in order to get details. For example, I don't remember how to run the complexity of a risk or a project, and the PMI Infinities give you a lot of insight. So I think that in general those are that I can recommend, but I think that the best one is the one that you have accessible to your pocket. If you
Okay.
have
I
something,
I will
I
thanks,
think,
Chitlali.
yeah,
Now
thank you.
let's hear the other panelists also. I will come back to you if there is anything that they have missed. Please add. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. Christian, you want to highlight about any tools that you are using on a day-to-day basis, in which is helping you in your project management activities, apart from what
I'm
Chitlali has mentioned.
I can't add much more to what Chitlali actually has shared. I am actually subscribing to ChatGPT. So that last comment resonates very loudly to me, and that is what fits your pocket. They are not cheap, but you must be willing to actually make the investments to go forward if your organization is not already doing so. You just, in my opinion, is that you have to embrace AI, otherwise you're going to be left behind.
Okay. Thank you, Krishnan. Richard, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I use ChatGPT, and I use it for all the things for the minuting. I use it a lot for run helping me to run the PMI Luxembourg chapter as well, for newsletters, for things. And but also what I also use it for is this: if I have a new problem, I try and create like a question and answer. I try and explore to so I'm quite keen on hallucinations, because sometimes with hallucinations you might if you know a lot in the area. And then the other area which I start to look at is I'm starting to do some work with a tool which is called Mistral, Mistral is an AI tool which allows you to build large language learning models. And what we're trying to look at on a project that I'm working on at the moment is to try and build up like a chatbot of requirements and contracts, and then maybe use that to automate some of the processes. So, and I work with Copilot, with Perplexity, with Gemini, but the one I'm looking at the moment is something called Mistral AI.
Copilot, yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go to the next panelist, question for our audience: if they are using any specific tools which has not been mentioned by our panelists, and they think that that is a effective tool which is helping them effectively perform their project management role, do highlight in the chat. Okay, going to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what is the AI tool that you are using that that's helping you perform the project manager's role effectively? Program managers, project managers, portfolio manager, whatever you are working on. Go ahead, please.
Interestingly, I use all that has been mentioned, but in addition to that, I use Claude. Claude is also very effective. And I use Claude, CLAUDE, Claude.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's also very good. And even in ChatGPT, to ask you to compare whatever you have there with Claude. And I have also used, one of the key things that has helped me is prompt engineering, because being able to learn how to prompt the models is a key to be getting the real answer. So prompt engineering has been one of the things that I have mastered to be able to get whatever I want. And I'm able to use these tools to be able to write my reports, even generate high level, high quality questions for my training that I handle, all the documentation that I churn out for my project work. I don't do them from scratch. I'm currently working on a project with a colleague, and everything I'm doing is basically using these tools, but the correct prompting is what is helping. And even the presentation, I use AI to do it, and I fine-tuned the final results using gamma.app. So online gamma.app is a free system for doing powerful presentations. We can use that if you want to.
Gamma dot. Can you please say that again? Gamma dot up, UP up, or
dot app? Yes, gamma.app.
Okay. Okay.
And one thing which is also really useful is the PMI training for AI. So I often use the PMI training to get so good. that should not be forgotten, that not so much Infinity, but Infinity in conjunction with the training.
Correct. I think Sitlali also mentioned the PMI Infinity training, which is a helpful thing. Okay, good. Raymond, do you want to add something to our discussion?
Yeah, I think mostly I use for personal. I use Gemini. Gemini is good for infographic, for teaching the junior ones, right? We're using the PM Infinity. The definition is there. and the step there, then we translate to Gemini. And then recently I helped my friends in a small project using Gemini to create Gen AI to select the online material, which one is the cheapest one. So it's advantage for my friends. So that's my experience recently.
Okay, okay. PMI Infinity is another. Okay, another marks to PMI. We are. You want from Alaska? You want to highlight something?
Sure. I've been using ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
That's my preferred go-to, just because the more you use it, the more it learns what you're trying to do, and the more efficient it gets. So PMI Affinity is getting there. I haven't had good luck with Microsoft Copilot at all. So, but yeah.
Okay, okay. So PMI Infinity. Okay, okay. So from our perplexity. There are hundreds of tools in the in on the market. Some of them free and others available with. Did we miss anyone? Anybody else had any other? Anybody else think that they have missed on any tools? Good. Okay. Tao, are you there? Yeah, Tao is our AI expert. Tao, can I pick up your brain and ask you a question on what are the tools that we can use for project management and make it more efficient? Can you highlight a few of them, please, for our audience and also for our panelists?
Okay, thanks for brought me up. So now
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so to me, it's like the everything everybody mentioned is perfect. PMI Infinity is the best for the if you want to stay in the scope. So because we don't want to get out of the hand, it has very good guardrail, and so make sure that we are not going out of hand. But so it's especially very good for newbie, the new hand the project management, and if you are doing for coding and make some coding for the kids and also make some web codings, now Gemini and Cloud is good, and the ChatGPT is also good for like drawing and also some like something like that. So, and I want so everything is good, and we now know it's now two dominates Gemini and the GPT, and then we also use the PMI Infinity as well. So these are the three main things you should consider, and the others you should probably need to add in your pockets. So that's my take.
Thank you, Tao. Thank you for sharing. And I'm sorry I had to pull you. I know that you are an expert in this area and wanted to share your knowledge with our audience. Thank you so much. I think we had a very good discussion today on project management. So basically, without any ado, I can say that project manager, as Richard mentioned very clearly, and also all our other panelists support, that project manager is not going to go out of scope, but project managers who don't use technology and who don't use AI to make things better for themselves, and project managers who don't keep an eye on the final outcome of the project that they are managing will find it difficult, but others should continue. So we have to continue on our certifications and also on the other interest that we have. So I think thank you, panelists. Thank you so much for a very good discussion. And I will just start sharing my screen. We will keep it short now. Thanks, everyone. On my screen, I'm showing you a QR code for our next event, which is planned for 23rd Jan 2026, which is the fourth Friday of the month. So I'll request our audience to start registering for this event and be ready. And the topic that we have chosen, which is more relevant, very relevant to our today's project managers, the AI-driven project manager, redefining roles. I'm sure this is an extension of the question that we had today, redefining roles, skills, and the future of delivery. Future of delivery is what we will hear it from our keynote speaker and the panelists in our next event, which is coming on 23rd of January. So we will get to know. I'm again going to post those questions what is the SPM, what is BPM, or what is a PPM, or is it only PM? So is a project manager getting mixed up with all the other roles, or is he providing values to all the other roles as well? So with that, I would I would like to thank all our members. Today we had more than 350 people who attended the session, and more than 800 people registered our event today. And I'm sure that there will be more such events going forward, and people will be attending. With this, I would want to wrap up season 6 and session 11. That is the end of our season 6. A heartfelt thanks to all the attendees who registered for this session and also attended this session. We thank you for giving your time and attention today. We will make more effort, our best effort, to bring forward more such events in the coming year and make sure that it is more fruitful and useful for you. We will share the PDU code in an email after this event, and we would want you to provide your feedback as well. Anything that you feel can help us improvise this program and get you more value is always welcome. Anything that you want to criticize or you think that we can do better, please help us improvise. We are always there to learn from each other. In fact, we will want to learn from the other chapters, other region, other continent as well. So going forward, we will add more volunteers, more people from other regions, so that we can have more inroads into other regions and other continents, and see how we can provide and also bring more insight from other regions. Like for example, today we have Malaysia, Indonesia, Ghana, Luxembourg, and also Alaska and Alaska speaking, right? So similarly, we will do more efforts to bring in more variety to our audience. So I think with that, and at almost at the tip of the hour, 9 p.m. already. So I thank all of you. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. We will see you with more force, more vigor in the next year. Thanks a lot.
Ahmed, excuse me. I think we still have the quote. I think Tal can share.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tal. You want to share something?
But I don't have the image, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, what is the code? Just mention the code. We will put it in our nuggets.
You want me put?
Just a minute. Yeah. The quote that we have received today is by Rahul Raghuvanshi, and it says, "New leadership approaches, strategic, deprioritize the how to prioritize." Wow. I like code number 5. New leadership approaches, strategic enablement over task execution. So the quote for today is by Raghuvanshi, which says new leadership approaches with strategic enablement over task execution. I think that is what we discussed with our panelists today. The operation is successful, but the patient is dead. So this is the other way. That strategic enablement is very, very important for a project, for the future project managers. Instead of just task execution, they have to keep an eye on the purpose as well. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for bringing this up, and I'm sure this will help. Anything else that you want to add, Priscilla and Tao?
No. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great New Year.
Yes, and thanks again to the Chapter Xchange team for again a great event. So.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Thank you guys. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays to all. Yeah. Happy holidays and season greetings. Okay, I will just jump out. Exit. Thank you, Krishnan. Thank you, Raymond.